Hi, my name is Forshua, and I'm going to teach you how to become a better teammate. Aside from good mechanics, flashy plays, and game knowledge, part of skill in competitive team games is being able to work with your team and get along with them. The way that you treat the people in your game may affect the outcome of it more than you realize, so I'm going to give you some basic guidelines and explain the reasoning behind them. The first step of being a good teammate is to trust your teammates and understand that you share a common goal. Regardless of what you see or what your impression of your teammates is, you should always try to make the conscious decision to trust that they are trying to win the game, same as you. Part of the reason for this is actually necessity. If you ended up on the same team as someone, you're stuck with them for the duration of the game, and if they win, you win. If they lose, you lose. Your teammate making a mistake or having low experience or low skill doesn't change the fact that you're on the same team. The second reason is that if you're able to trust that your teammate is trying their best to win, regardless of any mistakes or shortcomings they have, it actually frees you from worrying about what they are doing, and gives you more mental space to focus on outplaying the enemy and your own impact on the outcome of the game. You should be paying attention to what your teammates are doing for the sake of coordinating with them and working together, not making sure that their level of play matches up to a certain standard. Regardless of the skill level, knowledge, or awareness of your teammate, they're still your teammate. You're still on a team together. The second step is don't flame your teammates. Even if your teammates make mistakes, part of trusting your team is believing that they weren't trying to mess up. They probably still want to win, even if something went wrong. Flaming them won't make them care about the game more. Most likely, it will actually make them feel defensive or self-conscious, which is a negative outcome. When someone is feeling defensive or self-conscious, it leads to them feeling emotional and worried about their own performance. As a result, they'll have trouble staying cool and making good decisions. Instead, they will become focused on themselves, looking for a way to prove their worth in the team or avoid making any more mistakes. Either of these desires will lead to an unbalanced mental state. So let me explain. If someone is trying to prove their worth, they will be more likely to take risks, especially unnecessary ones, to fix their score or KDA, regardless of if it is an objectively good risk to take. In any competitive game, taking the win often requires taking some risks to gain an advantage. That being said, there are good risks to take, and there are also bad risks to take. Someone who is feeling emotional and trying to fix their score to prove they're a worthy member of the team will have a lot of trouble differentiating good risks from bad risks, which makes them an unreliable player. Now, it is possible that this unreliable player takes a good risk which leads your team to victory, but it's just as likely they will take a bad risk which causes your defeat. It's a double-edged sword, and it's not worth taking the chance. On the flip side, if someone feels that they need to avoid making any more mistakes, they will become defensive and risk-averse. Sure, maybe they stopped feeding the enemy, but this mental state will also cause them to avoid taking any risks, even good ones. This sort of teammate effectively becomes dead weight, and even if they see opportunities, they will refuse to take them. Maybe you're good enough to carry them through this game, but eventually you'll meet opponents who are every bit as good as you are, and then you will need all the help you can get. You'll need players who are actively trying to win the game and to take the victory, not just trying to avoid defeat. At the end of the game, the only thing that matters is the victory or the defeat screen. Even if you have a terrible score, you can remain focused on playing for your team's victory. Becoming emotional or discouraged will cause you to lose focus on the ultimate goal of victory and instead become focused on the source of discouragement, which was probably a mistake or an unlucky situation that happened. You should never do or say something which may cause your teammates to become distracted from the ultimate goal. Flaming someone or drawing attention to their shortcomings has a good chance of doing exactly that, and it needs to be avoided. Now, I'm not trying to say that you should never give feedback. But feedback needs to be given from a place of trust, or else it probably won't be received. You need to believe that your teammate is actually trying their best to win and didn't want to make that mistake. They aren't trying to throw your game. Getting mad at them won't help them get better, and it won't fix the outcome. It's already been done. If you want to take the victory, you need to look forward to the next opportunity. Related to this is don't flame yourself either. The words that you say matter, and that includes the words you say to yourself. If you make a mistake or mess something up, it doesn't make you bad. It's normal to get things wrong or not to play perfectly. Accepting that you are going to make mistakes and not being too upset when they happen is the fastest pathway to actually learning. It allows you to see what happened more objectively and prepare to do better and improve next time. Don't beat others up for making mistakes, and don't beat yourself up either. Video games are hard. People naturally make mistakes and mess up. It's okay. Accept it happened and move on. Try again. Don't dwell on the mistake and make a big fuss about how you're so bad for not playing perfectly. Just move on. Stay in the moment. Try and do better next time. If it doesn't work, try and do better next time. If you mess up again, try and do better next time. It's part of being human. You're not perfect and there's no need to be ashamed of that, so don't attack others for not being perfect and don't attack yourself either. These next guidelines are geared more towards when you have your team in voice chat and you're communicating more directly. First of all, don't micromanage your teammates. Micromanaging is like when you're trying to tell someone exactly what to do in the moment. It's the equivalent of as if you could grab a hold of their keyboard and mouse and play the game for them. It's like, oh, press R here, press your ult, do this, oh, you need to kite back, you need to play exactly like this. Don't do this. First of all, it's confusing. If I'm in the middle of trying to make a play and I have someone in my ear telling me how to do it, I either need to ignore them and do what I'm doing, or I need to process what they're saying and follow their instructions. The problem with that is that processing someone's instructions and then doing them is always going to be slower than just making the decision and executing it yourself. In a game where a split-second decision can decide the difference between a win and a loss, you need to prioritize speed by making those split-second decisions on your own. If you feel the need to give feedback on plays or mechanics, it needs to be saved until after the game, or at least until there's nothing important going on. So, if you're not telling your teammates exactly what to do, what should you say? Try telling your teammates what you are doing and what you are thinking. If you have a situation where you want to all in or pick a fight, but your champion doesn't have the tools to initiate, for instance if you're playing AD carry in League of Legends, it can help to tell your teammate that you want to pick a fight, or ask them to take all-ins if they see them. You don't want to tell your teammate exactly how to use the tools that they have. Trust that they'll be able to handle the execution on their own, that they can figure it out, and focus on being prepared to react when they make the play. If you're playing the initiator, tell your teammates when you're looking for an all-in, and try to give them a little bit of warning before it happens so they're ready to follow up. The useful pieces of information that your team is going to be able to use are going to come from your perspective. You want to share with them what you are seeing, what you want to do, and what you are thinking about. Don't try to force your teammates to conform to your vision. Instead, share your vision with them. Tell them what you're doing, and then believe in their ability to find a way to coordinate with you in their own way. Telling your teammates how to use their tools is not only slower, but it may cause them to only want to use their abilities when someone else is telling them what to do. They might stop looking for opportunities for themselves because they feel like they don't need to. They might think, oh, well, my teammate tells me when to use my ulti, he tells me when to go in, he tells me when to do this, so I don't need to figure out when it's good or when I have to do it because I'm just going to be told to do it. This isn't a good thing. You need your teammates to be self-sufficient. A player who can do something when they're told to do it is one thing. I mean, you can find them anywhere. But at that point, basic execution becomes a two-person job. You need someone to tell them what to do, and then you need the person to actually do it. The best teammate is the one who's going to tell you what they're doing so that you can work alongside them and coordinate with them. True. Barking orders at people, telling them what to do, is slow and ineffective compared to actually working together. Now, that being said, working together obviously takes a lot more time, trust, and effort to achieve, but without that element of teamwork, you're never going to have a good team. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and gained something from my perspective. If you enjoyed it, please tell me why you liked it, and press the like button. I would also really appreciate it if you checked out my stream on twitch.tv/Forshua. Please enjoy the rest of the clips, and until next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he does this. Flash.
Jeez.
Wait,
That is so thick.
there's no way he gets away. Yes. He's gone.
We can Baron. We
I have ult soon.